Hello and welcome to North 100, a Canadian Highlander podcast. My name is Serge. Joining me today, I've got a Nelly.
Hey, that's me.
We've got a Wheeler.
I have a drink.
And on tech, we've got a James.
I have half a drink.
Half a drink. Good for you, James. Reminder that everything we do is brought to you by you with your support of the Patreon over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. For a few dollars more, maybe James could have a full drink. The show is also brought to you by the wonderful people at Card Kingdom. CardKingdom.com/LRR is an affiliate code that lets them know that we sent you. If there's any singles you see from the set that you want to check out, buy them there. Well, you also have a little a button, but I never remember what it says, but I assure you it is quite funny.
Space.
Welcome to part 2 of our Edge of Eternities set review. Today we're covering green, gold, artifact, and land cards, and then of course our overview of the whole set. A reminder that our set reviews are not exhaustive. We don't talk about every single card, just the ones that we think are relevant, that we think you're going to want to hear about, or a small sprinkling of hand-picked commander cards. Without further ado, let's get into it with Wheeler.
Eumidian Terrabotanist. 1 and a green for a 2/3 insect druid. It's a creature. Says whenever a land you control enters, you gain 1 life.
I am so hyped for this.
We have seen other creatures that have landfall gain a life, and they're terrible.
They're so bad. The Grazing Gladeheart.
Grazing Gladeheart.
Jaddy Offshoot.
Courser Crufix.
Courser of Crufix is fine.
It used to be a mainstay.
If not good.
No.
Yeah, it is 2024.
It's the 105th card in every land deck now.
Jaddy Offshoot has a nice bonus of it being a 1-drop.
Yep.
Right? Very quick Green Sun Zenith. There's Kazandu Nectar Pot, which is a 1/3 at 2. Terrible. This card is not particularly busted in the sense that we have this effect.
We already have Jaddy Offshoot.
We have Jaddy Offshoot. We have Courser Crufix. But at least it's on a reasonable creature type. Like a 2/3 can at least attack.
It's respectable.
It can block. Ragavons and Ocelot Prides. It can block a 2/2 pretty well. So if you are looking for additional cards on your GSZ chain, then this is a 2.
There's a world in which you're going to flip this off a grist and you're going to lose your mind.
Yeah. Kazandu Nectar Pot, also an insect.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Weird. Wait a second. Has Grist been a land card this whole time?
Always has been.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad we talked about this. It is another one of these. Now, let's talk about Famished World Sire. 5 generic, green, an 8 mana, 0/0 creature Leviathan with Ward 3 and Devour Land 3, which it's the only card in this set that has Devour. And Devour is back from Shards of Alara, a Jund-aligned mechanic that usually lets you sacrifice creatures as a creature enters the battlefield to put +1/+1 counters on this one, or on the creature. But this one asks you to sacrifice lands. So it's as it enters, so you put it on the stack as a 0/0, or you cast your Court of Calling or your Natural Order, whatever it is. And then, assuming that it enters the battlefield, then you'll choose how many lands it's going to sacrifice. So I just want everyone to understand, you're not going to be sacrificing the lands with this on the stack and then get gotten by a counterspell. Okay? So you get 3 times that many +1/+1 counters per land you sacrificed. And then when it enters, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is this creature's power. Put any number of land cards from among them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Now, that ability does go on the stack with this creature in play. If they swords it, it'll look for this creature's last power, but if they have the tragic slip,
God, that'd be so funny.
Then you get
they
wrecked.
tragic slip you sack your whole board and get nothing.
Yeah, then so everyone understands how this card works mechanically now. What is the point of this card? Now, I mentioned Natural Order. I mentioned, we've talked about Green Sun Zen. So the various tutors. This is a Scape Shift-ish. It's not exactly Scape Shift, but it's a Scape Shift-ish card that you can reanimate, you can Natural Order for, you can get into play with your cards that get creatures into play. And so
it doesn't even have trample.
That might be relevant. It has Ward 3, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's just it's twice as much mana as a Scape Shift, but it's a creature. So I feel like that's worth knowing about. I don't know if it's going to become a mainstay of the format ever, but it's an interesting effect.
There's a world where you natural order into this, even when you only have 4 lands or 5 lands, and
Still at 12-12.
yeah, you look at 15 cards, get all the lands, trigger all that landfall, and then
Oh, right. It says any number of lands. It actually can go,
Any number.
It can actually go positive.
Yeah,
it can go negative too.
it can definitely ramp you.
But it can go positive.
Yeah.
yeah, and like this card is huge.
Yep.
It's
right.
big
It's
Leviathan.
so big. It's niche, but a relevant Magic card. for
How
our
much
format.
play is Lumra seen?
Oh, good question.
A little bit.
I remember you asked to have
pretty
mine.
high
Have you
Lumra.
cast it?
I mean, in Commander quite a few times.
All right.
Yeah, I haven't played it in Highlander yet, but I mean, I see this alongside Lumra as these like really interesting big land adjacent cards.
Yeah, Fugitive Analyst or whatever.
You can Lumra at least combo kills. Like this one, you will run out of lands
Right.
to put into play, and it doesn't return them from the graveyard.
Yeah.
Right. Like Lumra, you can like loop, just like bring all the lands back, sack the Lumra, sack everything, face reward or whatever, and kind of do this little like clown car
Yeah.
sort of routine.
That's all good.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we have the Frenzied Baloth. And I bet you when people hear about this card, there's going to be a little bit of frenzying as well because it has all... It's the greatest hits of green in the past 5 years. 2 mana, 2 green pips gets you a 3/2 beast that can't be countered, has trample and haste. All creature spells you control can't be countered, and combat damage can't be prevented. It slices, it dices. It's just very... What do you want green aggro decks of 2025 and onward to look like? Well, this is its face.
Dear Watsy, questing beast is legendary and 4 mana. Please fix. Someone was like, okay.
Somebody heard that and they're like, all right, we'll make it cheaper. Yeah. The fact that it just gives all of your creature spells the ability to no longer be... You used to have to cast a terrible card like Crouching Serpapod or whatever its first name was.
Hey,
Prowling Serpapod.
Prowling
that
Serpapod.
was a 4/3 for 3.
Yeah,
wasn't
that
it?
card.
That was fine.
When has that card ever seen play?
It saw play for about a year after it came
Noel
out.
Robbins about to bust through this door and clock you in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty
No,
reasonable amount of
I've
play.
cast a Prowling Serpapod. Yeah.
When? You need to put a date beside that.
All right, that's fine.
At least in the last 5 years. That
Okay.
card is still seen play. But it's not good anymore.
This card is unapologetically good in every deck that wants to turn Greek creature sideways.
Yeah, but I do want to talk about this card because people look at this and they get really hyped up. But like, it's fine. I don't think this card is at its strongest
3/2 trample haste for 2.
when you play this and immediately put another creature on the stack.
Sure.
That you want to push through. Because like, it sounds weird to say, but like the 2 toughness.
Oh, no,
is
this is
not,
going to be answered by everything, right?
Yeah.
sure.
It's
Still gets
very fragile.
Yeah, you want to do this and then untap and cast like Seasoned Engineer the next
It
turn,
is
right?
great. I like it because it is a very quick, cheap answer against the One Ring, where Questing Beast is expensive. And like you might not be able to weave in a Questing Beast to deal with it. But this card only being 2 mana means that like even if they accelerate into the One Ring, being able to just hard cast this or Green Sun Zenith for this card, the manageable ask. Or like Eldritch Evolution. Yeah,
I like that you phrase this not from the point of view of this card as a problem, here's how we counter it, but how this card answers problematic play patterns that already exist in the format is kind of cool.
Yeah, it has. I don't want to get into a larger conversation about card evaluation, but I think that's mostly how like you either look at a card and be like, this is the problem, or you look at a card and say like, how does this interact with the problem?
This is the solution.
Yeah.
I think it's elegant because it does deal with that situation you just mentioned, as well as just gives you that edge against any blue spells, but also is not that hard to deal with. Like, do you have a bear? You can block.
You have a bolt.
Yeah. Do you have any removal spell? It doesn't have hexproof.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Good card though.
Yeah, solid.
Wheeler.
Horizon Explorer from the Commander product. 2 and a green for a 2/4 Insect Scout. Lands you control enter untapped. Whenever you attack a player, create a lander token. Lander token is a new token type from this product, both the Commander product and the main set. It's an artifact token that has pay 2 generic, tap, sack this token, search your library for a basic land card, put it in the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. So very reminiscent of Wayfarer's Bauble, which is why Nelson is fanning himself, because that card was printed in 2005. Mind you,
Still have a crush
I'm
on
also
it.
fanning
Yeah.
myself.
No, it's like, yeah, there's a clue that's a rampant growth instead of a card now. So
Hell
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is an interesting ability that we actually received in Final Fantasy, so the previous set, on the Wandering Minstrel,
Right.
being a 2-mana creature that says lands come to play untapped. Now we have a 3-mana one to do it, but we have a 3-mana one that doesn't die to Lightning Bolt or get Caracas.
And Grist reveals it.
And Grist does reveal it. This ability is like kind of interesting because you look at this and you're like, oh, Amulet Titan, right? One of the most powerful modern decks that doesn't really have a one-to-one. I have played Amulet Titan in Highlander, albeit it was, oh god, 8 years ago, 9 years ago at this point.
How did that go?
I 3-1 twice.
Sweet.
I lost in the finals with it. It is an unexplored shell that is pretty damn good, honestly.
Okay.
And I
I've
wonder
played the deck in Modern. It does seem like it would be hard to port.
now you have redundancy, which is kind of nice. I'm not saying that this card is going to be like, all right, new tier 1 deck you got to worry about, but now we have a 2-drop, a 3-drop, and a 1-drop. One of those can be found off Urza Saga. 2 of them can be found off Green Sun Zenith and Friends.
Yeah.
There's spelunking as well now, right?
We're not even necessarily doing the
Splunking.
stuff. We're not even doing the stuff that like old Amulet Titan was doing, which was playing those like bounce lands from original Ravnica block.
I think we are doing
I think
that.
we are.
Well, I was going to even just say, like, we're all playing Surveil duels now, too. Like, you automatically get this upside without even having to go in a rogue direction, which is fascinating.
Right. There are cards that you are incentivized to play just by the merit of their power level that will be reaping the benefits of this magic card beyond the like quirky ones that you're playing
All right,
specifically.
rules question.
Yeah.
Rav duels. You put them in the play, tap to avoid the 2 life, and then it untaps it, or do you lose the 2 life if it enters untapped?
You don't lose the 2 life.
You don't. You can.
They enter untapped.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought the Rav duel said enters tapped unless you pay 2 life.
As this enters, you can pay 2 life. If you do, it enters play
Can you bring
untapped.
up Breeding Pool, James?
I think Wheeler's got this. Like,
Yeah?
I think
I didn't remember if it was
I think the rule
replacement
is
ability.
you may pay
Because
the 2
I
life.
was
Like,
thinking because of the
Blood Moon,
they used
Right.
to enter tapped.
when
I thought
Blood Moon's gone
no.
through some rules and
No,
directions, but I don't think it
old
ever
Blood
did that.
Moon. Yeah, as it comes into play, you may pay 2 life. If you don't, it comes into play.
So you have 2 replacement effects, and you choose how they are applied.
Right, they both apply the same
And you
object.
are applying them in a way in which you do not play the 2 life, and because of that, this is going to come into play on tapped instead. But the Horizon Explorer says, "Hey, no, this comes into play untapped."
To be clear, you may still pay the 2 life.
Yeah, if you want,
You may.
Death Shadow.
sure, why not?
Sorry, I got us on.
Okay, but Serge has us talking about surveil duels and stuff. Do you think either of you think that this card is powerful? Okay, great.
Yeah, just by itself to do that. No.
Great. Me neither.
I think you're getting cute.
Yeah. No. 3 mana 2/4. We don't play
Sorry.
Course of Crufix.
I don't
anymore,
think
which is
you're
a
getting
shame.
cute.
Yeah.
I think when you're playing this, you need to get cute.
Yeah, put it in the Amulet Titan deck.
Yes.
Or like,
Yeah.
show me, like, if you're going to play this card in Canadian Highlander, you need to have, like, these other cards next to it that are like, this is why. Horizon Explorer. Don't just put it next to Commercial District.
3 mana 2/4s need to be the white 3 mana 2/4 that can take over the whole game that we talked about in the previous episode, right? I just like even Course of Crufix has fallen out of favor, and that card has so much upside with lands.
Cosmic Grand doesn't need as much explanation as Explorer does.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Nelly.
Speaking of explorers, let's talk about Ice Till Explorer. 2 green for a 2/4 insect scout that says you may play an additional land on each of your turns, and you may play lands from your graveyard, and landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, mill a card.
Now I know I said that 3 mana 2/4s are bad, but let me sell you on this 4 mana 2/4.
Okay, so this card's got some obvious things going on. You can play lands from your graveyard. There's apparently someone at WotC that's just like, I won't stop until we have 40 of these effects. Like, I remember when Conduit of Worlds came out, I was like, oh, wow, they did it. They just gave us, like, everything you could want from a Crucible of Worlds that costs 1 more mana. But apparently they weren't done. They were like, yeah, do that, and you can attack and play in an extra land. Playing an extra land card stapled to, you can play it from your graveyard card, there's some combo problems there, right? Like there's some application to the fact that this card has both abilities. You only need to tutor one card to get your Exploration and your Crucible of Worlds in play, and then
and fuel your own graveyard.
What do you want? Yeah. Plus, now you're gonna threaten to mill yourself. We were already do I need to keep elaborating? Yeah, exactly. Like that's a lot. That said, it's a 4-mana 2/4. And it doesn't have an ETB or anything, so I'm keenly aware that just like this card on its own, not incredible. Please get cute with it. If you're going to play it, be cute.
I would say that this card sneakily does have an ETB.
Oh, sure. The extra land drop?
That,
sure. Yeah, you play
this card,
yeah,
and then you get to take a game action before your opponent gets to respond. Like, it never puts anything on the side.
Okay, no, you're right. Maybe it is a little bit like 5-mana Titania, right? Where it's like, even if nothing else happens, like, you probably get a land back.
I should hate this card, or not hate this card. I should look at this card and be like, 4 mana, just play Ramanap, play Walk-in Closet.
Well, Ramanap has 3 toughness.
Yeah.
And the 4 gets it out of range of a lot of removal.
Yeah, but also it costs 3 mana. And like, often speed is like the key. But because this does everything.
Yes. Yeah.
And like kind of pays for that 1 mana. Right? Like, it refunds the 1 mana, and then
I mean, if you cast this, you haven't played a land yet, you can just play 2 fetch lands out of your graveyard immediately.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Eldritch Evolution in there.
I suppose it is worth mentioning, maybe exploring for a second, why we're excited about the mill yourself, because often I think people that aren't really in-franchise players sometimes get very upset about milling or worried that self-milling is a downside. Your graveyard is such an important resource to Canadian Highlander players. We have abilities to interact with cards. We have cards that bring themselves back. We have cards that bring them back. Like, it is essentially filling a second hand for you every time that you do this. And as a land player, you have so many pieces that you're looking for. So you might have a fetch land, you might have some dirtly creatures, and then you mill a wasteland or a strip mine or an Urza Saga. You hit your Dark Depths or a Thespian part of your combo. Like, what you're doing is you're trying to rapid fire as quickly as possible. And because this both puts the cards in your graveyard and is the tool that brings them back, it's an engine in and of itself.
I will say that the milling a card is not as relevant in a world with surveil lands, where looping with those lands is very easy, right? Like play the surveil, sack it, replay it. That lets you mill your deck so you hit the lands that you need to then combo kill them.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a surveil land, which will occasionally pop up, this is a great way to then get to a surveil land or just replace it entirely.
All right, the final green card we're going to talk about today is the Melt Strider's Resolve. This is a 1-mana aura for a single green pip. Enchant creature you control. When this aura enters, enchanted creature fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. Enchanted creature gets +0/+2 and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. We were talking in the previous episode about how Sheltered by Ghosts has been this absolute standout from Duskmourn, specifically for the Sanctum Stompy archetype. And this is incredible for it. It goes on your creatures, which is realistically the best place that you want your auras to be. So it fuels your enchantresses, it clears the board, it makes your creature bigger, and it makes, if you have this on like a Setessan Champion or something else that's going to be growing, it makes it very hard for them to remove it, to like trade up and to deal with it. More of these. This is what this deck needs to sort of accelerate past the area it's floundering in currently. This is another archetype I want to revisit sometime soon. I need to be playing more Highlander. All right, Wheeler.
I'm not even mad that he took my card.
Oh, whoops. The order is so tricky.
Did we screw it up?
Yeah. Didn't I read the 2?
No, I went Explorer, you went
No, that's right. That's right. I read the 4-mana 2. I read 3-mana 2 for Insect. I read 4-mana 2 for Insect. It's okay. Do you want to talk about this card?
Yeah, talk about biotech.
No, I don't give a care. I don't give a care.
Wheeler, it's your turn.
I want to talk about biotech specialist. Do I?
This card's cool.
All right, this card's maybe fine.
Yeah.
Why are there so many
card's
bugs in
good.
space?
Where else are they going to live?
Right.
Red and a green for a 1/3 creature, insect scientist. When this creature enters, you create a lander token. We talked about them previously. It's a Wayfarer's Bauble. And it says whenever you sacrifice an artifact, this creature deals 2 damage to target opponent. Yeah. I am okay with this card, I guess. It's funny because I read sack an artifact, dome something, and I get very excited normally. But we have a card in this set, the red enchantment, that more or less fills that role in a way that is less vulnerable, and that's also just easier to find.
May I offer a counterpoint, though? This doesn't say non-token. So all of your clues, your treasures, and stuff like that work where the previous one didn't.
I'm okay with that.
Right. Yeah. So, this card, it does fill the same role as weapons manufacturing, I think, from the last episode. Mm-hmm. But it's a creature. So while that isn't currently super relevant to like most KCI and eggs decks or whatever, it might be at a certain point. And then also, like if you want to have a food...
That's the thing. This makes this, and we're going to be talking about it soon, the Lobster Chef. This is a new direction that I want to try with the food deck, which is red. You're giving me, man, Wheeler.
I'm not doing anything.
You're
I'm
smiling
laughing.
at me and be like, yes, go back to Food Jaeger. Give me more free wins.
You were doing.
We need it
so
at
good.
FNPF. We need the food deck.
He was doing so good.
Trying to show up on Fridays.
He was
but
playing
not on
Dimir
YouTube.
Tempo. He was playing like Boros.
He's got to brew it. I'm not saying he has to play it.
He was doing so good, and now he's back on Sanctum Stompy and this food deck. As his parents, we should be a little concerned, you know?
Look, I've booked a meeting with a specialist for next week. All right, it's in the calendar.
Okay, thank you.
Let's also talk about Cosmoglyph.
Yeah, sure.
Black and a green for a star/1+ star. That's right. It's an elemental Lurgoyf.
Elemental.
With one ability. This creature's power is equal to the number of cards you own in exile, and its toughness is equal to that number +1. Okay, so right off the gate, I'm like, I know Thassa's Oracle exists, but what if we had one more 2-drop that threatens to win the game if you resolve, Demonic Consultation, naming Sarpadian Empires Volume 3.
That's your go-to? It's the first one on Magic.
Yeah. It's the top click. Yeah, that's I'm used to when I'm trying to mill myself to win. I'm used to clicking.
What if you're accidentally playing that card in your list?
I haven't yet. I think I did play it in Time Spiral Limited once. But anyways, this is a Lurgoyf that can get unreasonably large if you have ways that you're already exiling a bunch of your stuff. It also just seems like it's fine in Delve. Are you Sultai Delve? Or could you be Sultai Delve? A bunch of Delve spells regularly get played, even if we're not Delve archetype is very common. But this card is just randomly a 10/10 a bunch of times.
Sultai Beans.
Sultai Beans.
They Bajuka Bog you. You're like, you fool. You've activated my Lurgoyf.
Do you find that your deck usually wins with Murktide Regent? Cool. This is if they kill your Murktide Regent, you just get to play another Murktide Regent that doesn't have flying.
I do think that you want to talk about cards that we don't play enough of in our format that are actually good.
Yeah.
Demonic Consultation.
Sure. I mean, you don't have to say that to me.
Yes, I know.
But to everyone.
Yeah. Sure. You play it. There's a small chance you may lose the game.
You may die.
But often...
Some of you may die.
I don't... It's like...
Well, that's a chance that I'm willing to pay.
I don't know. It's the let me talk to the younger generation. Look, you pick Hydro Pump because it does more damage and kills them, hits better damage thresholds, despite the fact that it has lower accuracy when compared to Surf. Demonic Consultation is Hydro Pump. That's all they need to know. Somebody in the comment section will be like, thank you. I understand.
Thank you for explaining it to me that way.
Yeah, but just Consultation is kind of a messed up Magic card. That card's banned in Legacy, restricted in Vintage.
It's one black mana instant.
It kills people.
It's kind of Demonic Tutor.
Yeah. And the fact that while Demonic Consult doesn't synergize with Lelia in the way that Tainted Pact does,
right.
But now that we have 2 cards that care, Lelia and Cosmogoyf, care about putting a bunch of stuff into exile, so you have 2 cards that instant kill with Tainted Pact, and you have 1 card that now instant kills with Demonic Consultation. That's pretty good.
Yep.
That's pretty cracked.
It's pretty cool. This is
Right?
only a 2-drop, too.
Also, just the idea of playing this card, demonic consultation for like thud or fling.
That is actually the
You just-
first. Yeah, I did think of that as well. I'm like, wait,
That's
can we just
kinda
demonic
dope.
consultation for Thud? But I wasn't sure if that thought was going to make it
But
to
like,
the podcast.
I don't know. People, every deck plays Ghost Vacuum. Every
Yep.
deck plays Graveyard Hate because it kind of need to.
Yep.
And
They
like,
keep making a
mean,
scavenging
even-
use in every set. Like,
Yeah.
you don't actually need to help this card.
Even Emperor of Bones, right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
This
there's-
card's going to get pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to In Spirit Flagship Vessel. This is from the Commander product. So a Jeskai, I know what that means, gets you a legendary artifact spaceship with all the abilities are locked. So we covered this in the previous episode, how leveling them up works. For a charge value of 1+ at the beginning of combat on your turn, put your choice of a +1/+1 counter or 2 charge counters on up to 1 other target artifact. And then, if it's 8+, it has flying, it becomes a creature with 5/5. It's worth mentioning it's not a creature until then. With other artifacts you control have hexproof and indestructible. I think some people might think that you get static abilities just when you play it. You don't. None of the abilities in those boxes is activated until you charge it up. So I like this one. We haven't talked a lot about these spacecraft or these station cards because they're quite slow. Like the opportunity cost to get them working is quite slow. But having it do something at 1 is kind of huge. And then you basically get your +1/+1 creature. What's his face?
Luminarch Aspirant.
You get a Luminarch Aspirant
Red?
like right off the bat, which is kind of cool. And then you just get an upside after that.
Except you paid more mana than Luminar or Casperin, right?
Yeah, but hopefully this, I don't know, stays a little bit longer.
I guess it's an artifact.
It does feed into itself as well, right? Like you put a counter on a creature, that creature then can
levels this up
level this
faster.
up
Sure,
faster.
sure.
Are we trying to get a 5/5 flying?
I don't.
guess.
8 is not
Once it's a 5/5 flying, they can crack a set.
great. Yeah, but I mean,
And then
until
you restart.
then, I don't know. It's the idea of like this one doesn't seem that wild. It's obviously narrow because it's like Jeskai Mirror Enforcers,
Yeah.
or whatever. But that is an avenue that people are taking that archetype, right?
Yeah.
And
Or 4-color. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
be.
you
Not,
just-
not green artifact stuff.
I don't know, just like you have one thing that immediately turns us on, then you put the counter on that, then you untap, you play a Mirror Enforcer, and you immediately get it to 8.
Go with me on this journey. Go with me on
Okay,
this
and then you
journey.
attack for 5 in the air.
Yeah,
What
and then
else?
all your things are indestructible.
So charge counters is something that exists
no,
outside of this mechanic as well.
man. We can't.
So Shrine of Burning Rage, was that charge counter?
Scepter.
Right? You know, maybe it does say other artifacts could get 2 charge counters.
We're like 4-color time
Yeah.
sieves now.
All
We
right.
got this
So
with
anyways,
Scepter, and we got
this is niche. Have fun. Wheeler.
Wait, hold on. I want to talk about Magister Scepter. Pinnacle Emissary. 1 blue and a red for a 3/3 artifact creature robot that says whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless drone artifact creature token with flying, and this token can block only creatures with flying. And it has warp for a hybrid blue-red. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's really good.
You can pay the warp, and then like turn 1, you could be like, all right, I'm going to warp this card. Mox, Bobble,
Yeah.
tap,
Mirror
play
Enforcer.
another 1 mana artifact,
Yeah.
and then I'll tuck it away and recast it later. Like it's the hybrid warp cost too is just so funny. Where it's like, hey, did you draw your Great Furnace instead of your Seat of the Synod?
Don't worry about it.
Here you go, champ.
You're fine,
Like,
buddy.
You're
You can
fine.
cast this for a red mana.
You're fine.
No, this is another one, like the one in a blue Sentry or whatever it's called from the 04 robot that gets +X power. Great thing to slide in between your Moxes and your Mirror Enforcers.
It's an artifact as well.
Yeah.
This is shockingly powerful for the archetypes that want this. It's
Yeah.
kind of unreal, actually.
Not once per turn. Not non-creature artifacts.
It's
or
not an
whatever.
artificer. It's a robot.
Yeah,
Play
it's
this,
an artifact.
and
We have
then you-
so many of these that are like 3 mana 2/2 legendary creatures. This is just an artifact creature. I'm sorry, Nelly. I talked
No,
right
you're
over
good.
you.
You're good. You play this and then weapons manufacturing, and then you play your Mox Sapphire, and just like 3 artifacts
Yeah.
come pooping out of it.
Also, they have flying. Like making
Yeah.
evasive creatures
Yep.
is huge. And while can only block creatures with flying is a downside. Like, think of the things that you are dying to in Canlander. And the first two cards that come to my mind are like Murktide Regent and Abhorrent Oculus.
I just love that they're like, man, Thopters are too good. All right, we'll invent drones, which are Thopters with downside. And you're like, okay.
Sure.
Yeah, it doesn't say can't block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. All right, Nelly.
I want to talk about Ragost, Deft Gastronaut.
My boy.
I'm just kidding. Serge wants to. I'll take the next one.
Okay. Legendary Lobster Citizen, 2/2 for a red and a white. Artifact creatures, all artifacts you control are now food in addition to their other types and have the food ability of pay 2, tap, and sack it to gain 3 life. 1 and tap and sack a food. Ragost deals 3 damage to each opponent. And at the beginning of your end step, if you gained life this turn, you get to untap it. The internet lost their collective mind when our snippy boy came out.
Yeah.
So my biggest critique of this card is previously food had no reason to play red. And now they've given us biotech. Okay, food fight was in red, or technically Rocco from the
from the kitchen.
From the Cabaretti set from the kitchen.
Yeah, from the kitchen.
There's a Rocco that makes food tokens, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
and so between weapons manufacturing, biotech specialist, and now Ragost here, there's a very, very compelling reason to get into this. It does suffer from the same problem all of the other food cards has, which is it's another legend.
Yeah.
God, this deck is so weak to Caracas.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to find a home other than your let's try to make food work pile, right? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it goes in that deck. This card seems like very weak to me. But but it's cute that it's a lobster citizen making me a meal. Looks delicious.
Nelson,
yeah,
you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we talked about.
Right.
You know, a young man, he's in a stage in his life where
I just want to cook. I just want to cook.
He's a cute lobster.
Right.
You start asking some questions
forgets all
about
of his
yourself.
We
training.
just need to push him to Guide of Souls Ocelot Pride and away from Lobster Citizen.
Yeah, I will acknowledge that I don't think this card is particularly good. I think it's a new interesting direction. I think being able to sack a food for 1 instead of 2 is interesting because there are cards that care about when a food dies. But it also begs the question of what color is your deck even going to be at this point?
It has to be all of them because it needs to be Abzan for all the other cards. It needs to be Tolarian Academy.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, you might be able to cut something. But
I could see a world where you're 4 color, no blue, but then it's like
then you don't have Academy.
You still play Academy?
well, that's the thing.
Sure, you still have blue spells. Yeah.
I mean, maybe you don't play Academy, but then you have to ask yourself I cut blue. All I'm missing is Oko and Tolarian Academy.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
right,
Mother Goose is there as well, but Oko and Tolarian Academy. So probably the best version of this deck is just game object.deck, where you are playing Academy and you're playing all of the blue spells that get better when you have a bunch of artifacts in play. But there's better versions of that deck as well.
Yeah, the game objects deck doesn't play red and is Bant based or 4 color, but they're also a time sieve.
I think it's possible that Ragost was the card that got printed that let us know, hey, this deck, it doesn't need more cards that say food on them.
Yeah.
It needs cards that say food on them that are good. And also, this deck is a commander deck.
I mean,
it's just not a Canadian Highlander deck.
So I'll mention that Commander, the food deck in Commander is oppressive.
Sure.
It's good enough that I don't bring it anymore.
Yeah.
But I do want to, still talking about food, I do think Biotech Specialist is maybe very, very real in there.
No, I think Biotech Specialist is a fun card.
This card can do 6 damage. Maybe it's fine. But then you have to gain the life.
It looks to me like Grizzly Bear does something, and then also late game, it's world's slowest overrun. If you draw it and you kind of already won, but you haven't won yet, then it wins the game for you.
I mean, one of the issues beyond the Caracasable deck is that you don't have a huge amount of 2-drops. right? Like you have some good 2s.
Yeah.
And this
Some of
set's
the
giving
Hobbits
you
are 2s.
2 of them.
Yeah, but there's so many 3s.
There's a lot of 3s. And maybe go with me on this journey. What if we embrace the legendary aspect of it?
Just flood
Like,
it.
what if we're like 4-color, like Legends Matter?
God, are you playing Bard class just to try and get away?
Well, Bard class is a little tough because we're also playing white and black. But like, you get your Mox
You
Amber.
want to play Sarah Farron? Mox Amber's real.
You could play, maybe you'll play
The Bodyguard?
Bodyguard. Oh, what, Zach? Or
No.
the dog?
Oh, you could play Zach. No, I meant the dog from Brothers War.
Dog from Brothers War.
Or no, he's not a dog. That's Hajar? Two red and green for a 3/3.
Hajar.
Sacrifice it. Is it a dog?
Dude, that's
a human.
That's a whole ass man.
Man.
Yeah, that's a
Anyways, all right. So we're brewing this Legend Matters for deck.
Yeah, 4-color Legends Matters.
No blue?
No blue.
No
Ikra.
Oko?
Are we playing the cat? The 3 black green
We
for
better.
a 6/6?
Ivra?
Yeah.
I think that's one of
That
the
card's
best.
one of the best
Ibra
cards.
has
cards.
won
It's-
tournaments.
That card is actually legitimately
Like you can play that
impressive.
card outside of food. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
And
then
then it
and
makes
then
all-
Treebeard and stuff.
We got Samwise combo in here.
Yeah.
All right, we figured it out.
Yeah.
Great.
All right.
Okay, let's
back
talk
to
about
Nelson,
different
then
cards. All right.
All right.
Let me talk about Servondum Sunstar Exemplar. White black for a 2/2 legendary human knight with vigilance and menace. And whenever another creature you control dies or is put into exile, put a +1/+1 counter on Servondum and you gain 1 life. And when Servondum dies or is put into exile while its power is 4 or greater, destroy up to 1 target non-land permanent. Okay, so this one's legendary, but you don't care because it's got enough words on it. It's going to be okay if you want to try it out in Aristocrats. And then, I don't know, do you think it also makes it into... You're the Ruin Your Evening. No, it's not quite there. It's not enough.
I like that it just has to die.
Yeah.
And then you can bring it back. Like you can unearth it, you can reanimate it or whatever.
And it's only 2 other triggers resolve. So it gives itself 4 power.
Doesn't take much.
So you could be doing this like on the same turn you play it. If you're just like this, and then you sack a couple things, and then you sack this, and then you reanimate this, and then you say go.
Triggers all tokens.
There's the Anthem that gives legendary creatures +2/+1. You could just
just
let it die
the
by
white
itself.
flower,
right?
Flowering in the white tree.
flower in the white tree. Play this, and then sack it, and it kills
Just
something.
loop it over and over, blow up their board.
Non-land permanent, but yes, absolutely blow up.
Their
Yeah.
non-land board.
Sorry, I hear blow up your board in
I
this
know.
format.
And
you
I
think
everything.
Yeah,
you think
that's
obliterate.
Leave them with nothing. Yeah, exactly. I think.
Knuckle hops.
Yeah, I think. Actually, the first thing that comes to mind is memory jar upheaval, or upheaval balance, or whatever.
So my issue with this is, and we've gotten a lot of these like pretty good, specifically legendary 2/2s for white and a black that like grow threats. Final Fantasy had one as well.
Yeah.
And I just don't know what that deck is. Right?
Sure.
Like there's, like you mentioned, there's the shells, there's Ruin Your Evening on one side, and there's like Aristocrats on another. But I don't know if there's like a mid-range shell that just wants to play like fair magic with a little bit of life gain.
So I've been trying to work on like Abzan / 4-color, like it is sort of Sandy B or like Agatha, anti-Agatha's, but it also is trying to play Beatdown. So I might try this. I'll be definitely trying the 1 in a black 3/2 free sack outlet, but just like a creature deck that can attack and it can have a normal looking game of like I played an elf or I played a Thoughtseize and then I played a creature, I'm going to try to attack you, or I played 2 creatures in the same turn, but it includes combos. And so I could maybe see Servondum fitting into something like that. If anyone else there is trying to brew like combos are like these creatures fit into combos, but you can attack with them.
I could see this in like black white humans. Like not
Right, it's also
overthinking it.
human. Yeah.
Sure.
Knight.
You know, it's
Yeah.
a human knight.
Yeah.
It only ever costs 2 mana. Like these other 2 abilities don't require mana.
Yeah.
All right, Wheeler.
Tanuk Memorial Ensign. 1 red and a green for a 2/4 legendary Kavu pilot that has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, Tanuk deals 1 damage to each opponent. And if this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, you draw a card. Yeah. I mean, when it comes to any of these landfall cards, because this is another kind of constant with the set review, is that like we'll get a card where I'm like, well, technically you can kill people with your like Zern Orb Fast Bond combo. And I'm inclined to give a bit more points towards something that you can find off of Green Sun Zenith or Eldritch Evolution, right? Like it's like, yeah, you could put this card into play and it's a creature and we'll just do a thing. Like it's a creature. It's a game object that you can make progress with outside of whatever the combo application is. But if you need it for the combo, you can tutor it up. 4 toughness is nice.
3 mana, 2/4.
3 mana, 2/4. Drawing a card is also pretty nice too.
Yeah, drawing a card off all your fetch lands is kind of unreal.
Yeah, that part I like. I'm not really of the mind that this is the direction of the lands deck or of the landfall aggro deck.
There's a green-red version.
Yeah.
That's still playing like Living Twister and stuff like that. And I
Where's he getting his lists?
Jeremy White.
Did you take the permissions off?
Yeah, he's been Googling again.
My net, I don't understand. I thought I had Net Nanny covering all
But just straight up like green red landfall is kind of cool, and I like it in that. I think in any of the like 3-color mid-range versions, I'm probably not playing this.
My issue with this kind of card in that deck, because like green red, just Primeval Titan, Scape Shift, like that kind of lands, you're just likely better off playing a higher powered card, even if it ignores the landfall, right? Like,
I mean, that's where the mid-range part of that comes
I
from,
hear
right?
this like red-green, and I'm like, what if we were Naya and instead played Flage? Like, that's...
Right.
It's just... Like, it's disappointing at times because you hate to think about, like, oh, well, what happened to the magic of Magic?
Right.
And it's like...
Magic happened to
Who
it.
gives a crap? I'm out here trying to win a tournament. Like, it's a case of... It's unfortunate to hear that some of these decks have been homogenized, but also, who cares if you need Flage? You get to say, like, yeah, I'm playing Naya Scape Shift lands or whatever, right? Like, it's... What I'm trying to get at is, I don't think this is the kind of card... Like, and maybe I'm wrong because it does draw a card.
I mean, I'll probably play this.
Yeah,
if I play specifically that deck.
This has a lot of benefits for those type of decks, but there's a part of me that thinks, like,
could you do
if
better?
you play that build for 100 games and then take that and adjust it slightly into a build with fewer of this card and more of just raw power level cards.
Interesting.
Like what do the game win percentages look like? Right.
I haven't been playing like any kind of lands combo in months, and I'm curious, legitimately, are they playing Sabotender in the decks that have like Crucible Fast Bonds?
Sorry, which one is Sabotender?
It's this same ability on a 2/1 for 2 from Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy one. Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
Because like you can pay one less mana, and it's not legendary.
That's really funny. Sabotender,
yeah, because it's kind of low
Sabotender,
power.
I like in aggro, like the aggro landfall, not in combo, which is funny. But this I don't see. That's so funny.
The one that does see play is Valakut. 2 of them, I guess. Valakut Exploration.
Yeah.
Which is the 3-mana enchantment, landfall. You exile the top card of your library until you're under your turn. You can play that. But then at the end of your turn, your opponent takes damage. Beginning of your end step, if there are cards exiled with it, you put them into the owner's graveyard. Then it deals that much damage to each opponent. And this is a card that is more difficult for them to interact with because it's not a creature. Gets you effectively drawing cards, but also provides a like, well, I'm just going to get infinite landfall and then I'm going to dome you out with the triggered ability here.
Yeah.
Or Jacob still plays the Hagra Retreat.
Yep.
Right, of course.
Retreat to Hagra.
That's also an enchantment.
Yeah, 3-mana landfall, drain them for 1.
Black. Yeah.
I mean,
I like that one too.
I feel like Sabotender, there's an argument to play it in the combo shell specifically because it's only 2 mana. And all these other cards are 3.
Right.
But that said, I'm not trying to make that argument real strong. I'm not telling you.
The problem with the combo land shell is not dying.
Yeah.
And the 2/1 has no defensive stats. And you don't want your combo piece to have to trade defensively.
Sure.
Also worth mentioning that, I mean, I guess you're not drawing a ton of cards off of this. You're only doing the damage, but like There are ways to loop with this card so that you can draw your deck.
We're talking about the Kavu still?
The Kavu that still involve Caracas, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Where you just like reset it and then get to
Sorry,
play. So you
snorted.
can't.
Yeah,
I know,
get
but
you.
it's just like that is something.
Yep.
Yeah, my stance on this is like it fits into this niche, but I think this might be a spot where you say, I'm good. I'm going to go for quality over synergy.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's my take.
All right, Nelly.
Moving on to artifacts. Let's talk about Extinguisher Battleship. It's a new artifact spacecraft that costs 8 generic to cast. When this spacecraft enters, destroy target non-creature permanent. Then this spacecraft deals 4 damage to each creature. It also has station, of course, and this time it just turns into a 10/10 flying trample once you have 5 charge counters on it. Okay, so this is a potential tinker target that fulfills 2 niches. Instead of just blowing up one thing like your Spine of Ishsaw does, this can take out their Planeswalker or their One Ring. Well, not their One Ring, but their other artifact like their Mox or whatever, as well as dealing 4 damage to each creature. So if they have like a problem permanent, maybe they have a Jitte, maybe they have weapons manufacturing in play already, but they haven't comboed yet. You can blow up, anything that's not a creature, and then you get to wildfire damage all of the board, and then only 5, so you could maybe get the charge counters up in 2 turns after replaying normal creatures. Depends depending on what deck you're putting it in. I also like it in channel. Another option, just instead of Ulamog their one thing, this kills all the elves as well as blowing up their Gaia's Cradle. So
No, non-land.
Non-creature.
Non-creature. I corrected you for a stupid reason.
It's okay. No worries.
Sorry.
Magic cards have a lot of words on them, and I will read one wrong again in the future, more than one. But yeah, non-creature. You may blow up Gaia's Cradle. You may not kill the One Ring because nothing can. Damn it!
Cast into
They should have cast it into the fire 1,000 years ago.
All right,
Or
next up.
suplexed it.
Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, sorry. Anything to
Suplexed
add?
it.
We got it.
This is it's different from Portal to Phyrexia.
Yep.
Some might say it's worse. But it kind of fits in this weird like midpoint of the Ugin from Dragonstorm and the Portal. And when you mentioned channel, I kind of thought like, oh yeah, it's nice to have flexibility with channel. And it's nice to have something that with that new Ugin, which can show up in the channel decks, just more big colorless crap.
Yeah.
And the card that we talked about last episode, the Darksteel Monolith that lets you cast colorless spells for free.
Right.
Like there's a density of playing of these big colorless top end cards that are genuinely impactful and worth their mana that you could cheat out, but also like it's weird to say, but 8's not that much in a world where you can like in a world and a deck where you're like going to Grim Monolith, you're going to Soul Ring, you're going to a cat.
It's achievable.
Academy.
You put Emrakul the Aeon's Torn in your channel deck because that's kind of the dream, but you don't often get to 15 regular.
Brother, I played Mono Green Eldrazi in the last month, and it was shocking how often you just get to like 10 mana.
Yeah,
plus.
10 is like pretty achievable in those decks.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Next up, we have Nutrient Block. Oh my god. Is it another food card? It's a sign. 1 mana gets you an indestructible food permanent. 2 and tap and sack this artifact, gain 3 life. And when this artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card.
Is it an egg then?
It's an egg.
It's also an egg.
Yeah, this card's great.
Yeah.
Indestructible egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gains you life.
It loves getting turned into a creature.
The fact that it draws a card whenever it gets blown up, well, not blown up because it's indestructible, but the fact that whenever you sacrifice it, you get to draw a card is great.
Because you can sack it to other stuff.
Yes, exactly. Sacrifice it to your KCI, to your Reshape, or your Transmute artifact, or whatever. You're going to be able to draw a card. Cashing into gain life is quite nice as well.
Where do you think this laser beam's coming from?
Space. Yeah, it just draws a card. It's a 1 mana artifact that replaces itself and gains you some life and is better than Candy Trail, in my opinion.
And it's food.
And it's food. Well, Candy Trail's also
I
food.
know.
What was Candy Trail again? Is it like you get to scry 2 when it enters, and then
it's scry 2 on ETB, and then it taps to sacrifice to gain 3 life. and you draw a card.
Oh, the templating wasn't whenever it dies.
Yeah, so that seems like it is better in the sense of like you play it and use it as intended. The fact that you can play this, sack it to KCI, be up 1 mana and draw a card is huge.
Big deal.
Yep.
All right, have fun with this one, Wheeler.
Tezzeret, Cruel Captain. 3 generic mana for a legendary planeswalker, Tezzeret, with 4 starting loyalty. That says whenever an artifact you control enters, you put a loyalty counter on Tezzeret. For 0, untap target artifact or creature. If it's an artifact creature, you put a 1/1 counter on it. -3, search your library for an artifact card with mana value 1 or less. Reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle. -7, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, put 3/1/1 counters on target artifact you control, If it's not a creature, it becomes a 0/0 robot artifact creature. I'm going to break this down bit by bit. 3 colorless mana for your casting cost. Great. Just real easy to achieve. 4 starting loyalty. Also pretty great, honestly. Getting loyalty counters whenever any artifact enters the battlefield, token or non-token. Huge.
Yeah.
But also, because, get this, there are a lot of really cheap artifacts and a lot of cards that just create tokens. So getting this card's loyalty to either like the ultimate range or just enough that you can use its second ability multiple times, really easy.
Yep.
Or just protecting it, right? It's just a lot of counters, big distraction. The 0 untaps Time Vault. Next question. No, but it untaps Time Vault. It also obviously untaps your Mana Vault, your Grim Monolith, all those kind of cards. If you are like even just untapping like a Construct and making it bigger, and also having it on defense now so you can block for the Tezzeret.
It says creature. It doesn't even have to be artifact. You could untap your Welder.
Yes, yeah. You could untap any creature.
Untap your Priest of Titania. It doesn't care.
Who cares? -3, find an artifact with mana value 1 or less. Can you boys think of any mana or any artifacts that cost 1 or less that are really good?
Do we play artifacts in our format?
I don't know. The fact that this finds Black Lotus, Walking Ballista, Voltaic Key, Manifold Key, any of the Moxen, Pyrite Spellbomb, Aether Spellbomb, a land, like a Pithing Needle, Ghost Vacuum. Who cares, dude? It just fine. and then there's an ultimate, which might actually be the worst
ability
on this card, but also is just like, it's the worst ability on the card, but also is such a clean representation of you're going to die after I've Time Vault looped, or if you play this in like a Welder deck or like an artifact kind of mid-rangey deck, you will get to 7 very quickly. It is relatively easy to get this card up to the ultimate, and then you just turn your clue tokens into 3/3s over and over again. It's an emblem. You can't interact with it. So it's just something your opponent has to deal with for the remainder of the game. This card is so good.
This card is so
good.
It's so pushed.
It's funny because it is, the -7 is the least exciting thing about it when you're like sleeving it up and choosing what to put in the deck with it. But then when you play the game, there's going to be so many games where you're just like, oh, good, I don't have to think about how to get out of this difficult situation where we've traded everything and my Time Vault has been exiled. And I can just play this, play 2 other things, and then -7 it.
It's just a threat.
And then I can win a normal game of Magic by just attacking my opponent to death pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is
very nice.
This is so busted.
It's rare for a card to come out that all 3 of us are really, really, really excited to immediately start brewing with it as well.
Yeah, I feel like lately they've given us 1 or 2, but this set's got a few. Yeah, this one is a bit weird. is extra.
This card's real good.
All right, Nelly.
Okay, it's the End Stone. This one apparently was hyped on social media a bunch too, but it's Commander Declares. So it's a 7 generic casting cost legendary artifact with whenever you play a land or cast a spell, draw a card. And at the beginning of your end step, your life total becomes half your starting life total, rounded up. I can't tell when they designed this whether that was supposed to be like a drawback to this card, but for me, all it says is like, hey, are you feeling goofy? Put this in your channel deck, and then you can channel this, and then channel Ulamog, and then in turn, you're not at 3 anymore. Yay!
Yeah. It makes it very, very, very hard for aggro decks to kill like an Academy player who puts this in, right? Because any chip damage just gets undid. They have to be able to do 10 damage in a turn,
right?
Or they can't win.
It does have big Phyrexian Unlife vibes in that sense, but also you're just drawing so many cards.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's the same draw clause as Recycle, right? I guess it's 1 more mana, but like it's all generic, so it's way easier to pay.
Now, what if Recycle was an artifact?
Yeah,
and also you didn't have to discard your hand.
Yeah. I forgot about
Remember Song of Creation?
Oh, yeah, this doesn't take your draw step away either.
No.
Right.
No.
This doesn't take your draw step away.
It's just all upside.
This is like
okay.
a pretty...
Do you think it's playable?
Yeah, I think so. But it is, I will admit, it's a little bit win more. You make a conscious decision adding this card to your deck. Whereas like Tezzeret is like, well, if I don't put Tezzeret in my like artifact deck, I'm going to look like a dumbass.
I better have a 2-page essay for why.
You need like you need to, that's the decision you make after like thousands of games, and then you're like, I think it's Tezzeret, but it feels wrong. This is the one where you better be like, I'm pretty sure that it is the correct decision to play this card that I may hard cast. 7's not, it's not a huge amount of mana in a Tolarian Academy Mishra's Workshop deck, or like a Paradox Engine deck. It's like a reasonable card to tinker into, and then just like play your baubles, play your land or whatever. The last line of text is either quite relevant to the point that Serge made, or it just doesn't do anything because the game's over.
Obviously, I'm really stoked for this card to for you to be right about it, and then for people to adopt it widely, because I still own a copy of the card Hidetsugu's Second Right.
Oh my God, Nelly. All right.
Like, this is, sorry, to tack on to this, because the more I'm thinking about it, is there was a style of deck, like a combo deck that was like Turbo Ring, where the idea being like you just tinker into the One Ring. Like you're just trying to get the One Ring in play, and you win the game off of like a storm kill, but it's like I think it maybe played like actual factual twiddle and stuff. You were kind of a twiddle storm deck. Yeah, an hour.
Okay.
But like you also just had a bunch of rituals, a bunch of ways to untap the One Ring. And like you were kind of like this Paradox Engine storm deck. This is a card that has big vibes of you can play it in that kind of shell. Right? Where there are certain matchups or certain spots where the One Ring can be a bit of a liability. Or just they'll find a way to shut it down with like Collector Roof or whatever. The fact that this doesn't have an activated ability and that you can like tinker into this and then storm out and just like channel through your deck, pun not intended, is kind of appealing. Like as I'm talking about this card,
you're now
with
brewing this list.
Strengths that I kind of set, we go into this set review with the idea of like how we're going to talk about certain cards. I've exhausted some of those, and now it's just this stream of consciousness of like, oh, and I tinker,
wait
and I
a
play
second,
a bauble,
wait a second.
I play Zuranorb, and I.
Okay, Wheeler, we're going to cut you off so Serge can talk about the next card.
Yeah.
All right. Last artifact we're going to talk about today. This is kind of a weird one. The Thrumming Hive Pool. 6 mana soup. It's an artifact with affinity for slivers. Slivers you control have double strike and haste, and at the beginning of your upkeep, create 2 1/1 colorless sliver creature tokens. I love the lore implications that as they're exploring through space, they find some slivers. Don't they also find like there's a one of Eldrazi as well? Like they're finding all these weird horrors in space and stuff like that. This is more interesting probably for changelings than anything, but you know what? We have sleeved up slivers before in Highlander. It's probably been about 10 years. It's not great. I just love that this card exists.
Man, when they came out with Commander Masters, and they're like, oh, there's a sliver
Morophon and whatever,
and you're just like, oh my god, we're going to get some good slivers, and they're like, what if a 5-mana sliver gave Afflict? or like, here's a 2-drop.
It's like, no, we need another muscle sliver.
Yes, I would argue that I don't know how many times Nelson has sleeved up slivers in Canlander, but there may be 2 out of like the top 5 of most sliver reps in this format.
You too? Yeah.
In this room, and it's still pretty low.
Yeah.
Because this deck is bad.
It's really bad.
Slivers, you just want muscle slivers, and maybe throw in like a winged sliver or
crystalline sliver.
If you get your crystalline sliver, sometimes
there's a blue-black one that also is like a bad version of crystalline
ward
sliver
or something. Yeah.
No, it's not ward. You can pay life to
hibernation.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, and it lets you dodge Batter Skull and removal and stuff.
The Batter Skull reference being a great time frame of saying when this was last tested, and they haven't really given us anything, and it's also the metagame has just become more hostile to this type of deck.
But so cool.
For what it's worth.
Can you imagine being in a limited environment like a sealed deck and this is your rare and you're like, how many slivers are there? I mean, it does provide its own bodies.
Yeah.
I told Graham to maybe play it. He opened one in the sealed video for the PPR that we made together, and I was just like, well, I mean, it makes 2 1/1 double strikes.
You only have 21 playables. Why not?
I will say
you didn't have to play it, but for 6 mana and sealed,
if we ever go back to proper slivers and we get more muscle slivers and whatnot, this card, the stocks are going to go through the roof. This
it's
is a
free and gives them all hasty double strike.
Also, the affinity for slivers being so you play this for free. What an incredible anthem, right?
Yeah, if you can play this in whatever legacy slivers, that would be an annoying.
Next time we do a goofy Highlander night, I'll bring slivers.
Okay. Word.
I just need Serge to give me back my sliver queen.
Do you also have my life from the lawn?
No. We're calling
this new narrative. This new narrative that Serge is just stealing cards from people's collection is all right. All right, Wheeler, start us off with the lands.
So this is a cycle of lands. The first one is Adagia, Windswept Bastion. These are lands that are also planets as their subtype. They all come into play tapped. They all add 1 of Wooburg color. Adagia here taps for a white, and they all have station with, I believe, station, the charge counter thing that we saw on Spacecraft.
Spacecraft. Same ability.
It's all 12 plus. So they are lands that add mana, but they come into play tapped, and they have a very large cost on them with supposedly powerful effects. Supposedly. When Adagia gets to 12 plus, it has 3 and a white, tap, create a token that's a copy of target artifact or enchantment you control, except it's legendary. Activate only as a sorcery.
Let's go over that real quick. If you have one permanent that's say you make a copy of Llanowar Elves and it's legendary, your other Llanowar Elves and your new Llanowar Elves can both hang out on the battlefield.
Correct.
But if you get another copy that's also legendary and it has the same name, then you have to sacrifice one of the legendary ones.
Correct.
So you can have 15 token copies of treasure, but then you make 1 legendary treasure. That's okay. You just get all 16 treasures. But then if you want to make another one, only 1 legendary with the same name as another legendary.
Yeah. All right. I guess quick TLDR. My vote, slow and bad.
Yes.
Oh, they're all slow and bad.
I think they are all... I think it's worth mentioning each of the individual abilities.
Sure.
But overall, they're basically slow and bad. Yep. They are worse, in my opinion, than the Final Fantasy Adventurelands.
Yeah.
Which, admittedly, not a huge amount of time. Only one of them sees a little niche play, but those were widely agreed to be slow and bad.
Well,
But we covered Adagia. We can now let's talk about Avendo really quickly.
Avendo Waking Haven. The green one that at 12 plus turns into a Gaia's Cradle. This one's kind of appealing if it didn't need 12 plus power.
It also is, they even tacked a mana onto the activation of the Gaia's Cradle.
What?
Ability.
Yeah, it taxes you one. Yeah.
They were like, Gaia's Cradle -1.
Yeah, slow and bad.
Cavaron Memorial World. This is the red one. 1 in a red, tap, sacrifice a land, create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token, then creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn.
Kind of interesting.
That pushes a lot of damage, but tapped land, man.
Yeah.
Susar Secundai, Void Altar. This is the black one. 1 in a black, tap, pay 2 life, sack a creature, draw cards equal to the sacrifice creature's power.
I think this is my favorite of all of them, but also still slow and bad.
Yeah, I'm still just not interested.
They're all interesting abilities once you get them. It's just don't play these cards.
Well,
Right.
even then, not even all of them.
I've gotten to 12. Now I can
Gaia's Cradle.
Yeah. And the blue one.
Uthros Titanic God Core, which, oh no, these sickos. This is the blue one that has blue tap, add blue for each artifact you control.
Yeah.
What do you can besmirch Gaia's Cradle. You leave my Talarian Academy alone.
But they didn't even do Sarah Sanctum for the white one.
No,
it's so weird.
Yeah, too good, man.
So the one saving grace I will give these is that, like, if you end up in a combo or situation like synergy deck that wants to put a bunch of counters or wants to like do something with just having a bunch of counters, like effects that say like remove all the counters and then this gives you X, like there's 1 or 2 of these kinds of cards, like the Fallout Dum that's like a 12/12 but costs less. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Mega
Thumbering Mega Sloth. Yeah, like
there's also that
sometimes you just want to be able to have counters, right?
Sure.
And these are lands that let you put counters on them.
That's fair. All right,
That's
talk about the next card, Nelly.
This land I'm actually excited about.
That's why
it's called, thank you, Eumidian Hatchery from the Commander product. It's a land with no types, but it says tap and pay 1 life, get a black mana, but also put a hatchling counter on this land. And when this land is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, for each hatchling counter on it, create a 1/1 black insect creature token with flying. Insect. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, Grist loves it. Okay, so in all seriousness, this land doesn't have a way to put itself in the graveyard. And it costs life to get the black mana, unlike a swamp. So it's not going in every deck, right? It's worse than swamp in many, many, many different applications where you want to just get black mana. I have 2 different places where I'm interested to try it. One is just Jund and Grixis Death Shadow, just like more lands that are like, yeah, it always costs life. This one, instead of sacking its draw card, gives you bonus value when you crop rotation it away. And then the other deck, of course, is just like the deck with all the copies of crop rotation, like your White of the Reliquary, Jund lands, 4-color lands, or your Delirium decks that are playing like these cards. That like the crop rotation and the White of the Reliquary. That's it. I just think it's worth trying in those spots.
Cool.
Yeah.
And the final set of cards we're going to talk about, we have Festering Thicket as an example here. So there's Festering Thicket, and there's also Glittering Massif. Sorry, I thought we had the other cycle. So they basically completed 2 rotations.
Well, no, they did.
They didn't complete it though. Yeah, it's 2 out of 5 missing ones. Am
I conflating the 2 things, like this cycle, these cycling lands, and
yes,
the check lands?
The Commander product has a black-green and a red-white cycling land, reminiscent of the Amonkhet cycling lands that only had allied colors, and the Battle for Zendikar Tango lands that would come into play untapped as long as you have 2 or more basic lands.
Yeah.
The Tango lands suck. They're terrible.
We don't play them.
But cycling lands, especially in enemy colors, can be like irrigated farmland still sees some play.
Boros in particular gets really bad when it looks like the depth of dual lands that you have access to. So I mean, entry plane tap is pretty rough, but fetchable.
Maybe the printing of a Boros fetchable tap land will cause Boros players to not immediately find their Elegant Parlor so that they can, get value later on in the game instead. Like there's this, tendency of players to be like, oh, I'm not playing on anything on turn 1, so I'm going to fetch to find my Surveil land, which in certain cases is going to be the correct play to make. But also the value of your Surveil land gets increases as the game continues.
Interesting.
And you can make that call for the tap land as well. But sometimes you just need to find a dual land or whatever. Like I think this one, these are fine. They're not like phone your parents and tell them you'll never believe what they printed.
The significance here is, of course, the land type that you can hit them off of fetch lands. That's why they're even worth talking about. Period.
Yeah.
All right, that is our set review. That is the full list of cards that we have prepared for today. And now we're going to enter my favorite part, which is we just yap about the set in total. And I have some introductory thoughts. I really like this set. And that is contrary to what I thought, because when I first thought of Magic in space, I was just like, oh no, is it going to be like 1950s UFOs and Martians and stuff like that? And instead it feels so good. It reminds me a lot of almost like the Phyrexian sets of like the art aesthetic, and I think it's very cool. I think power level wise, it's quite pushed and adds to quite a few. I mean, any set that gives me landfall and food, I'm happy about, right? So, like, I think it's actually a flavor win, despite my expectation that might not have been, and it's at a really good power level.
Nice. Yeah, I want to echo that. I think the power level is sort of exciting, especially we see some of these like expensive artifacts. It has a bit of a vibe of like original Mirrodin or Scars of Mirrodin.
Yeah.
Like it feels a little bit sort of like what the cards are able to do, what powers you have access to. Obviously, we're all super excited about Tezzeret. I'm super excited about the uncommon black 3/2 that's a free sack outlet.
Yep.
I like that a lot. The landfall cards look neat. I'm not sure how many of them are going to still matter, but honestly, they did a great job of giving us a bunch of cards of just like, you want to try this? It was like, I don't know, but I guess we'll see. There's a lot of cards in that, like, maybe this is going to make the cut for a while. And if that's the bulk of what we're getting from standard sets as time continues to go on, that's great. That's all we need. And then, yeah, I overall am a little disappointed that the station cards aren't good enough for us to get to play with them. And I'll be kind of stoked if we end up being wrong about that. Like maybe the 1 blue mana spacecraft will end up being kind of a mainstay. You only need 2 power to then turn it on and start doing anything with it. And maybe that'll be okay. Maybe that'll be fine. It's only 1 blue mana. So, I don't know. It would have been cool if there were more station cards because they put clearly a lot of effort into crafting that new ability. And it's like the primary thing that the set kind of brings mechanically, but it's not really. It's kind of a miss for our format. So, that'll happen sometimes. There's still plenty of good cards in the set.
Yeah, this might be the set that I'm most excited for in like the past couple of years. Like it is, and that I say that being as content creators, we often get people saying like, "Are you excited for this set? Are you excited for this?" And if we want their $5 a month, the answer is yes. But if we're being honest with them and maybe ourselves, like my answer is mostly no, because we get 6+ sets a year. It's a lot. And so it's hard to be like excited about some of these sets when we don't get the time to sit with them. But because this set, one, looks gorgeous, it's not a hat set, it's a set in a setting.
Right. It feels like the world's pretty fleshed out.
We don't have Chandra flying by with a space helmet going, whoa! We have, like, it feels like, no, this is just our peek into this section of the multiverse or the barricade of it or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's great. The power level is high, but it's not like eye-rollingly oppressive.
No, it's not an Eldraine. It's definitely not a Modern Horizons.
Right. Yeah. But it's high in a way where I feel like we will get to play with these cards.
Sure.
We will include them in our decks because the power level's there, but we will get to keep them for like a year, maybe longer, instead of just the constant churning of product. So I feel excited because looking at, weapons manufacturing or the stupid 4-mana Crucible plus Exploration
right.
plus Mill of
the
like
Ice Till Explorer, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like these are cards that are powerful, have a unique set of abilities or like a set of combination of these abilities altogether. And so there is a reason to play these cards. And the rates are pretty pushed, and that's exciting. That's great. I like that we get to spend time with these cards, but also they won't feel as oppressive as like MH3.
Man, you talked about the velocity of sets coming out. I feel like I haven't even finished digesting Final Fantasy.
Brother, I'm still on Dragonstorm.
There's still a card from Battle for Baldur's Gate. Like once a year, I'll be like, "What is this? This card seems okay," and I've never seen it before.
Yeah. Just I mean, truthfully, we talked about Bloomborough.
Right.
About wanting to try some of these decks that feature these Bloomborough cards and the pump spells, and it's like, brother, that was a year ago.
So I guess I do feel a little bit better about it, because on the one hand, I was talking to myself about like, oh man, there's all these decks that I've had a chance to play, and then like, wait, no, I don't have a chance to play anything because it just keeps coming.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's very valid. Any final thoughts?
Banger.
Yeah,
absolute
good
banger.
set. Good set.
And I hate sci-fi. Well, I don't hate, but I'm like,
I got you.
You're not in automatically. You're not invested.
Yes,
right away.
the set.
All right, with that, we're going to call it here on our set review. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you think we missed any cards, if you want to weigh in on the discussion, hit us up in the comments down below. I've been Serge, joined by Nelly.
Hey, that was me.
Wheeler.
I haven't even touched this drink.
Oh my God. Thank you to James for running tech.
You're welcome.
Reminder that everything we do is brought to you by you, your support of the Patreon over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. Thank you as well to our sponsor of the show, Card Kingdom, cardkingdom.com/LRR. If you want to pick up your copy of Plasma Bolt.
That's a common. Get them to buy a Mythic.
Tezzeret.
If you want to buy a Tezzeret, cardkingdom.com. You use our affiliate code, lets them know that we sent you. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.